You are now live. The show by an athlete for athletes. So this one's for every young woman out there building more than a highlight reel. You're not just a brand, you're the business.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to.
So let's talk about how to turn that platform into a paycheck. All right. It is telling me you are now live. Welcome back to another Gridiron Gains, the show by an athlete for athletes. I am your host, Tony the Tycoon, collegiate and Super Bowl champion, and your guide to building a real legacy off the field. Listen, this week I want to focus on the women of NIL. From the hardwood to the track, from volleyball courts to social media campaigns, women athletes, yeah, that's right, I said it. Women athletes have been not only elevating, but dominating their space and pushing the envelope. Look, not just for respect in sports, but for real equity in pay and also positioning. Listen, ladies, your hustle hasn't gone unnoticed. You've built brands, generated buzz, and shifted the conversation. And now it's time to make sure that that same energy pays you back, not just in sponsorships, but in systems, strategy, and sustainable wealth. So this one's for every young woman out there building more than a highlight reel. You're building a legacy. Let's talk about how to turn your platform into a paycheck, your influence into income, because you're not just the brand, you're also the business. So with that being said, let's get into today's show. We all know the buzz, the NIL explosion. College athletes can finally monetize their name, image, and likeness. We're hearing it everywhere, right? And it's been big. Well, how big? Well, look, in just a few years, the NIL marketplace went from zero to an estimated $1 billion+ industry. And here's something powerful. Women athletes are seizing this moment. They now make up roughly half of all the NIL deals, showing that from basketball stars to gymnasts and sprinters. Listen, ladies, you guys are turning the talent into a persona. And that's giving you guys serious opportunity. But let's break it down, the reality behind the hype. Yes, some athletes are cashing in, right? You take Livvy Dunne, for example, right? The LSU gymnast, for over 13 million followers she's rocking with right now, man. She's become one of the highest NIL earners with her endorsement valuation estimated around about $4 million a year. That's crazy work, right? That's more than even some of the biggest names in men's sports. Or let's talk about Flau'jae Johnson, the LSU hoops phenom, who's also a hip hop artist. She's sitting at about $1.5 million in NIL valuation. We've seen the Cavender twins use TikTok fame in basketball to secure high six-figure deals, and track stars and volleyball players. The list goes on and on and on, building devoted fan bases that brands, quite frankly, want to reach. Even in sports, that doesn't always, give the spotlight to women who are making their moves. You have a softball standout like Najee Kennedy landing a $1 million NIL deal in college. These are just examples that show the ceiling has been shattered. Now, here's the flip side. What most athletes experience. We got to talk about that. Most NIL deals aren't seven-figure checks, y'all. In fact, over half of all the NIL deals are worth $100 or less. So think about free meals, small promos, local partnerships. The medium value deal is around $60. And when you add it all up, an athlete's deal, probably the average earnings are going to be somewhere around $20,000 a year. The medium for the typical athlete is around $480. That means some of you are getting some extra cash, a few hundred here, a few thousand there. It's not life-changing money yet. The gap between stars and the rest is huge. So if you're not pulling in mega deals, don't feel like you're failing. That's really the norm right now. But look, even if you are, whether it's $5K or $500,000, look, the key is what you do next. Don't let the highlight stories fool you. NIL isn't an instant millionaire maker for everyone. And even those who do score big, they still need a game plan because the money can disappear as quickly as it came. Trust me when I tell y'all, we've seen it at the pro level. Nearly 78% of NFL players face serious financial stress within just 2 years of retiring. Why? Because if you don't have a plan for that money, it will vanish, leaving you right back where you started. And that's the hard truth. Opportunity without strategy can slip away. If you don't have a plan for that money, it will vanish. Sad part is you would have had this opportunity wasted away just because there wasn't a game plan put in place. So now that we know the truth, let's talk about how to turn this into something lasting. Let that be the word of the day, right? It's time to strategize. Because whether you did earn 5K or 500K, a million, you can make that money work for you beyond the next Instagram post or season. So here's your playbook for sustainable success. Strategy 1, fund a life insurance policy while you're young. Now, look, I know it might not sound exciting at first, but listen up. One of the smartest moves is securing a cash value life insurance policy early. Why? Because as a young, healthy athlete, you can lock in low premiums and start building what's called cash value. That cash value grows over time, tax deferred, by the way, and you can potentially tap into it later in life. Whether to invest it in business, buy a home, or support your family, future family. It's like planting a seed that grows into a financial safety net. Plus, look, let's be real. Our sports careers don't last forever. Whether it's 5 years, 15 years, or 5 months, at some point it's going to end. So what that insurance policy ensures, if anything happens to you, your loved ones are protected. So let's knock on wood that nothing goes wrong. You've created an asset you can borrow against in the future. Look, building wealth isn't just about offense, meaning making money. It's about defense too, protecting what you earn. So start that policy now, and by the time you're in your 30s, you could have had a significant pot of money growing quietly in the background. Second strategy, let's talk about annuities. Why don't we use an annuity for future income? I want you to think of an annuity like signing yourself to a future contract. You take a portion of your NIL earnings now and put it into an annuity, and essentially it becomes an investment with an insurance company that will pay you back later. Now, there are different types, but the idea is this. You're young today, but one day you won't be competing, and you'll be glad for a steady paycheck. Funding an annuity in your 20s could mean starting, say, in your early 40s, 50s. You've got guaranteed income streams for life or for a set number of years. It's basically like you're creating your own pension plan. And this is money you can't easily dip into, right? This is money that you can't easily dip into early. Now, without penalties. There are going to be penalties if you try to tap into it. But here's the thing. I believe that that's actually a good thing because it enforces discipline, economic and financial discipline. So yes, annuities can be complex and you don't want to tie up all your money, but allocating a chunk into one basically forces you to pay your future self. So I want you to imagine being 50 and still getting a check every month thanks to a decision you made in your 20s. Look, y'all, that's a legacy move. Talk with a wealth strategist, talk with an advisor about what kind of annuity works for you, whether that be fixed, indexed, deferred, whatever fits your goals. The key here is long-term stability, that you're creating income for the you that exists after sports. Strategy number 3, let's leverage indexed investments for growth. Look, you don't have to be a finance major to take advantage of the stock market. One of the simplest ways to grow your wealth is to put money into an indexed investment. For example, the S&P 500 index fund or an index-based account, right? In plain terms, this means you're investing in a broad slice of the market. And historically, the market grows over time. And while it has its ups and downs, if you're investing young, time is your greatest ally. And at the end of the day, one of the strategies that I love is grabbing the dividend returns from your policies and investing that money into the stock market because you know that is going to continue to keep coming. So here's the thing. By starting now, you allow the magic of compounded interest to kick in. Your money, which earns more money, and so on and so on and so forth. This could be through a Roth IRA. So if you've earned income, which the NIL money qualifies as, you can use that to put into invested index funds or some index universal life product that ties cash growth to stock index performance. Now, you're going to have downside protection with some of those policies, but the point is to take a portion of your earnings, put it into something that you don't touch for years, and you're going to allow that to build. All right. So picture this. Even if you had a modest $5,000 investment, that could now potentially become six figures when you're older thanks to compounding interest. So indexed investments will give you growth potential so your money keeps up with the beats of inflation. You're in it for the long haul. We're all the way dived in. This is not no quick day trading wins, quick payday type of thing. This is about growth. So I'll give you a scenario. Say you earned $50,000 from an NIL deal this year. Here's potentially how you could allocate it for maximum future benefit. Emphasis on future benefit. Let's say you put $10,000 into a cash value life insurance policy, locking in your coverage and building an asset that you can tap into later. This is going to protect your future and start a pot of savings you don't pay taxes on while it grows. You don't pay taxes on insurance money, period, but we'll get into that later. $15,000 can go into an annuity for future income. Set it and forget it. You're effectively giving your 50-year-old self a gift. You're giving yourself a guaranteed money income stream that's coming in down the road, long after college. I want you to imagine this as funding your life after sports or even an early retirement. Then you could take another $15,000 into index investments for growth. Let's put that money to work in the market in a diversified way, okay? So over the next 10 to 20 years with market growth, that could potentially double more than once. And this is how you beat inflation and grow wealth. Now look, that still leaves you with $10,000. You can use the remaining for your immediate needs, reinvesting in your brand. If there's some type of extra training you want to do, any type of personal marketing, or if you just want to have fun with it, you can use it for that as well. You don't have to live like a monk. You're just being smart by paying your future self first. And also by splitting the money like this, you've covered protection, that being the insurance side, stability, that being the annuity side, and growth, the index investing side. So you've essentially built yourself a mini financial portfolio at a young age. The exact numbers and percentages, they're going to vary based on your situation. Maybe you put a bit more into the investments or you start with a smaller insurance premium. But I want you to pay attention to the concept. Go back and watch this video and pay attention to the concept and the system and the strategy that I'm talking to. You want to diversify your moves so some money is protecting you, some money is guaranteed later, and some money is growing aggressively. And remember, you don't need $1 million NIL deal to start doing this, whether your NIL checks are big or if they're small. It's the habit and the strategy that you're focused in on. So those small steps can turn into big gains over time. It's like I like to say, you don't need $1 million NIL deal to start building $1 million future. So I want you to let that sink in. It's not about the size of the deal today. It's not about the size of the check today. It's about the size of your vision for tomorrow. I want to be quick tonight. I know y'all got things to do, and I appreciate y'all sharing y'all time with me. So we're going to wrap this up, right? I want to bring it home with some real talk, guys. Listen, building a legacy off the field, it's extremely personal for me. Some of you may or may not know that I was blessed to play football at the highest level. I won a collegiate championship ring. I won a Super Bowl. But I also saw something troubling. I saw teammates and friends who had made hundreds of thousands, even millions, end up with little to show for it a few years later after retirement. Look, man, nobody plans to go broke. But if you're not planning not to, it can happen. And it can happen to the best of us. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to call anybody out. We'll just call him Person A. Person A, star athlete, big personality, got a nice signing bonus. And for a while, he's living his dream. New car, treating everyone to dinners, big time dinners, right? The works. But then you fast forward a few years later, right? After ball, injuries hit. The career didn't pan out as expected. And that money, gone. On the other hand, Person B, let's just call her Ashley, right? Not as high profile, signed smaller deals, but she was methodical in her approach when it came to money. She saved, invested, got advice, and today she's doing great. Not because she made the most money up front, but because she had a game plan off the court. So see, the difference wasn't the talent or even the size of the paycheck. It was the strategy and, most importantly, the mindset. The first friend saw that money as a spending spree. The second saw it as seed money. And those seeds grew. Now think about your situation. Maybe you're not pulling in, professional sports dollars, Maybe you got a $5,000 local sponsor or a $20,000 brand deal. That can either be a quick boost that fades, or it can be the start of something bigger. The choices that you make today as an 18, 19, 20-year-old can set you up for life at 40, 45, 50. Serious, guys. And even if it seems far off, the earlier you start, the easier it gets. Time and discipline are your allies. I want you to imagine your post-athlete life, whether it's in 5 years or 15 years. What if the highlight of your financial life isn't just that one NIL deal you signed in college, but the fact that you used it to buy your first rental property at 25, or to start a business at 30, or to have paid your home off by 35, man. Like, look, that's legacy. That's money making you more money even when you're not in the game anymore. It's not about being afraid to enjoy your earnings. By all means, man, celebrate that hard work. All I'm asking you is to set some rules for yourself. Maybe invest 30%, save 20%. Or you can invest 30%, save 20%, and then spend the rest. Whatever fits, the key is to treat your athletic career and the earnings from it as the launch pad, not the peak. Motivation to plan early is that you have to have an advantage, and many others, they don't have that at your age. So if you're already thinking about business and branding now because NIL forced you to, you're essentially a young entrepreneur. So take the same drive you have in sport and apply it to your money. And here's what you need to understand. Even the modest earnings can grow surprisingly large, given enough time, as well as proper care. Every dollar you set aside now is buying you freedom down the line. Freedom to choose the type of job you want, or whatever cause you want to support, right? The causes that you love, to help you or your family retire comfortably, whatever it may be. So you know I got to give you a challenge. Y'all know I love the challenge. Here's my challenge to you. Don't just make money, multiply it. Don't let this be just a moment. Make it a movement. Turn your success on the field, on the court, into success off the field, off the court. The legacy you're building isn't just trophies or records. It's the life you create for yourself in your community with the opportunities you've earned. Look, guys, you've proven you can compete with the best. Now prove to yourself that you can plan with the best, so that 10 years from now, you'll look back and say, winning that deal was great, but investing it was even better. Your future self is watching you right now, and it's hoping that you make the right play. If you're ready to start building with strategy, I've got something for you. I want you to download this complimentary guide that I wrote just for you guys. After reading this, I promise you it's going to potentially elevate you economically in the mentality aspect. It's a resource packed with step-by-step guidance on everything that we talked about, from insurance to investments. I want you to check out the link in the description, take it, use it, and begin crafting your game plan today. If you found value here, all I need you to do, man, is hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you don't miss another episode. We're going to be dropping wisdom like this every single week. You won't want to miss it. Also, do me a favor, man. Share this with your teammates or your friends, whoever you think needs to hear it. Let's spread the knowledge, because we're all leveling up together. I don't have all the answers, but the answers that I have, I share. So until next time, stay focused, stay hungry, keep making plays that outlive the game. Run well, young lions and lionesses. Stay blessed by the best. Keep God close to the chest. Tony the Tycoon. I'm out.